my name's Andrew Grogan, and I get really nervous around girls. But then I remember that I'm gay and it becomes less of an issue. So some other stuff about me, skinny, obviously, gay and ginger. Let's be honest folks, we all know there isn't going to be a happy ending here. And then, you can also probably tell I'm a little bit gothy. Decided to dress more gothy in high school. I didn't think being gay and ginger gave people enough reason to beat me up. Also a little bit about where I'm from. I'm actually from Blackburn, or as I like to call it, the District 12 of Lancashire. Yeah, they say Lancashire's the real garden of England, and then Blackburn's the bit at the end with the piss-stained mattress. Yeah, you know, you've been there. But the reason, if you're wondering about my accent, I don't actually sound like I'm from Blackburn because my mother's from Hertfordshire, so I have a northern father and a southern mother, so technically I'm mixed race. Which has led to some very confusing auditions, I can tell you. But I'm definitely northern at heart. I was born in the north, I was raised in the north, I am of the north, and this is sounding like a speech from Game of Thrones. I fucking love Game of Thrones. Does anyone love Game of Thrones? Yeah. Fucking love that show, fucking love it. And this year for Halloween I've decided I'm going to go with Cersei Lannister. Yeah. Something about an evil queen with a drinking problem just speaks to me. But no, the one thing that is weird about, having a northern-southern background is, well, the worst thing is when you have to go down south to visit your southern relatives because I've only got southern relatives left now because northerners die younger. I went down south recently and, oh my god, let me tell you something, guys, no offence, my love, but southerners are not posh, they're just boring. Yeah, because I was at a family function and I was like, who am I going to talk to? I was like, I don't want to talk to the adults because they're going to be talking stuff like death and taxes and Brexit and all that bollocks. So I thought, who am I going to talk to? I decided to talk to my 17-year-old cousin, Sarah. I thought, 17, I was 17 once, I can relate to her. So I was like, so, Sarah's 17. You must be getting up to all kinds of trouble recently, sneaking a few fags, getting drunk in a park, that sort of thing. She looked at me as if I'd just said, I know we're cousins, but in the north it's not frowned upon. This is genuinely what she said, and this is genuinely what she sounded like. She said, no, I don't do anything like that. I was like, well, it was your 17th birthday recently, what did you end up doing for that? And she went, again, this is what she sounded like, and this is what she said, no word of a lie. It's like, well, it was such fun. Mummy dropped me and my friends all off at TGI Fridays, and we all had mocktails together. I just have one question, guys. What the fuck is a mocktail? Because when you're in the north, when you reach 13, you make the transition from 7-Up to Lambrini. That's just how it works. Do you know what I was doing for my 17th birthday? Neither do I, because I was fucking plastic. I'm just grateful I woke up in my own bed with my hymen intact. I know, 17 and still a virgin, that is rare in the north, but I was saving myself for Jesus. Jesus was the name of the bartender I shagged on our lads' holiday in Benidorm. And if you thought the Jews were cool to Jesus, you should have seen how this guy nailed me. I don't have a lot of friends because I hate people generally, but most of my friends are actually straight men. I don't really get along with anyone else. I used to be friends with loads of girls, but I think we can all agree without me sounding like a sexist pig that if you are mates with a load of girls, there is a lot of drama that comes in, and I don't really need that, and I don't get on with other gay men very well either because I have a brain. Seriously though, when I've been on Canal Street, I've met some gay guys and I'm like, fucking hell, you make me want to join the Westboro Baptist Church. And I would be friends with lesbians, but there's only so much I want to talk about cats and golfing. So the majority of my friends end up being straight men, and I get on very well with straight men because there's no drama, there's no bitchiness, they just say what they think. But there are certain things that I'm not allowed to do with my straight friends. I'm not allowed to watch football with my straight friends because apparently me playing shag, marry or kill with the England team kills the manly vibes. I'm also not allowed to watch movies with my straight friends because I have an unfortunate habit of pointing out all the homoerotic undertones of these big manly movies that they watch. Now, straight guys, I'm sorry, but if you thought Top Gun was aimed at you, you are way off the mark. That is the gayest fucking film I have ever seen. That film is gayer than Brokeback Mountain, and Brokeback Mountain had actual anal penetration in it. Jesus. This is why I don't have a lot of friends. So about my job, I actually am the manager of a fancy dress shop, and which is good for the comedy if nothing else, because one time this kid comes into the shop with his mum, and he starts trying on all the masks that we sell, and he puts on one mask and he goes, "Mum, look, I'm Jesus!" It was a Bin Laden mask. And then he put a Donald Trump mask on, he goes, "Mummy, look, I'm Donald Trump!" I'm like, so you know what Donald Trump looks like, but you don't know what Jesus Christ looks like? That is something very fucked up about our society. So, some other news about me. I recently moved into my own place. I know. Casa de Grogan. Where the magic happens. By magic, I mean I drink an entire bottle of wine, eat an entire cheesecake by myself, then proceed to cry in the shower while masturbating on a Saturday night. But it is quite easy. You know, we hear a lot of stories about young people not being able to afford property these days, but it's quite easy to do, and I'm going to tell you how to do it, so listen up. First of all, you have to apply to be a lodger with your living landlord. And then you have to murder your landlord. Dump his body in the Irwell. If the police come round asking, you just blame it on the pusher. And then a few minutes later, you've got your own place. You're welcome, millennial. So a bit about my family as well. My family are really, really geeky. Like, Star Trek is our thing. Do we have any Trekkies in the room?
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
No, my family, I was practically raised on Star Trek. My family are so geeky and so in Star Trek that at one point when I was a kid, my dad came into my room and started yelling at me in Klingon. I don't know what was more embarrassing, the fact that I understood every word that he said, or that he said I was a disgrace to the Empire. My other geeky thing, though, is Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. Do we have any Harry Potter fans in the room? Yeah, that's a bit more relatable. Yeah, and if, you know, most people take one look at me and think, oh shit, Ron Weasley's joined the Death Eaters. But one thing that's the downside of being such a Harry Potter fan is I have a rather nasty habit of using Harry Potter chat-up lines on guys. Like, hey, you know, before me, Moaning Myrtle was just known as Myrtle. Before me, the Shrieking Shack was just known as the Shack. Do you mind if I slip my basilisk into your chamber of secrets? Grab your cloak, you've pulled. I could do this all night. Oh, what was I going to say? So yeah, like I say, the majority of my friends are actually straight men, but sometimes it can be a bit awkward, the whole sort of gay straight thing. Just while we're here, do we have any gays in the room? Usual response. No, it's okay, it's all good. No, I am usually the only gay person who's performing stand-up comedy here tonight, because most comedy organisations will put more than one gay man, because we might tell too many dick jokes to make the straight men feel uncomfortable. Hi. He's looking at me like that, but we all know he's asked his girlfriend to do it at least once. That's right, straight men. Girls tell us things. We know. And we tell them things too. That's why you enjoyed it so much. You're welcome. But some tips for ladies as well, because I get this quite a lot. Ladies often ask me for tips on man-pleasing. So, right, it's my forte, I'm quite good at it actually. But one thing I will suggest, ladies, if you want to get out of it, because, you know, sometimes you're just not in the mood, you don't need the jaw stress, one thing you can do to set it all up, first of all, when you're doing it, pretend to choke a little bit, because it makes you feel like a man. And then the next time, you just say, when he wants you to do it again, just say, no babe, I can't. Your dick's just way too big for me. He won't mind if you don't do it then, trust me, because he'll be there bragging to all his mates on Friday nights. Oh mate, my girlfriend, she can't give me blowjobs yet. My cock's too big. So heckling is something we have to get used to in this business, and I've been heckled a couple of times quite badly in my career. One happened quite recently. It was at a student gig, and I try to avoid university gigs because they can't take a fucking joke. And I was doing this joke about Jack the Ripper. Shocker, I have a dark sense of humour. And I was telling this joke about Jack the Ripper, and out of nowhere this woman shouts at me, "You shouldn't joke about Jack the Ripper!" I was like, what, too soon? And, you know, I could see her. because the last one I could see, this smug millennial type, on her Instagram it says she practices transcendental meditation when she's just smoking weed. Studying art and graphic design at university when she's just smoking weed. Calls herself Samar, which is Sanskrit for I don't have a job. And, I was like, well, why can't I make a joke about Jack the Ripper? She goes, because Jack the Ripper did appalling misogynistic acts of butchery towards women. You shouldn't joke about somebody like that. I was like, well, Samar, this may shock you to know, but I'm actually a bit of an expert on serial killers. That is my thing. And as I remember, according to my research, Jack the Ripper was never formally identified, so did you just assume his gender? The very fact that you don't think a woman could have committed those appalling acts of butchery towards women is quite frankly anti-feminist, and quite frankly, I'm offended. Don't mess with the bull, you will get the horns, you smug millennial bitch. And then I was doing this other joke recently. I mean, religion is fair game. Can we all agree? Everyone can make a joke about religion. I mean, they just set the bar way too easily. And I was telling this joke about religion, and then out of nowhere, this woman came out and shouted, "There's nothing wrong with believing in Jesus!" And I was like, well, no, love, there's nothing wrong with believing in Jesus, but there is something wrong with interrupting my set, so will you kindly shut the fuck up? And afterwards, I felt a bit mean. I said to her, love, I'm sorry, that was a bit harsh. Are you very involved in the church? And she goes, yes, actually, I am. And I was like, well, if you don't mind me asking, what are you doing here on a Monday night? Don't you have some child abuse to cover up? Do not mess with the bull, you will get the fucking horns! So I will leave you with one final thing. Again, going back to the religious thing. I'm a pretty open-minded guy, I'm a live and let live kind of guy. What I cannot stand though, you will have seen this if you're Manchester locals, you'll have seen it on Market Street, the ones with the with the Bible and their microphone telling us how we're going to... Oh, it does get fucking trained, doesn't it? And I got stopped by this one guy. I was just walking along Market Street, minding my own business, had my headphones in, playing my sickest of beats, Twisted Sister, if anybody was asking, check them out, they're cool. And this guy stops me and he goes, you sir, you're going to hell. I took my headphones out, I was like, well, why am I going to hell? He goes, because you're a sinner, and sinners go to hell. And I was like, well, obviously, I don't want to go to hell. How do I avoid going to hell? And he goes, you need to find salvation. You need to find Jesus in you, sir. I was like, oh, well, that doesn't sound so bad. It won't be the first time I've had a bearded man inside me. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Andrew Grogan. Thank you very much. Good night.